If you want to know what's happening with the Durham Region real estate market, then this video is for you. I'm going to give you the actual numbers and tell you exactly what we saw in March, as well as where things seem to be trending. My name is Vilija Truelove, and I'm a local Durham Region real estate agent. If you're looking to make a move in the Durham Region, you can schedule a consultation through my calendar link in the description below, or just send me a text or an email. My number is also down below in the description. I'm here to help. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Now let's dive into the numbers for March. So we had 671 sales in March. This is a decent increase from the 555 sales we saw in February. As I always do, it's good to compare things to a year ago when trying to make sense of numbers, because real estate goes in cycles. So looking at March 2024, we had 859 sales. So 188 fewer sales compared to this time last year. We had 1,937 new listings come to the market in March. This is way up from the 1,229 new listings that came to the market in February, and also quite a bit higher than the 1,472 we saw in March 2024. Now, active listings. Active listings at the end of the last day of the month are the number of properties that have not been reported as sold. So how many properties we have available for sale at the end of the month. We ended the month with 2,017 active listings. This is significantly up from the 1,580 we saw at the end of February. And again, when we compare to March 2024, we're more than double the 920 active listings we saw at this time last year. So new listings are coming on the market at a high rate. There are not as many active buyers or sales, so inventory is multiplying. One other number that I think is worth highlighting right now is terminated and expired listings. So when a property is taken off the market, it can be because it sells, but it could also be because the listing expires or the sellers terminated the listing. We had 606 terminated listings in the Durham region in March. We had almost as many terminated listings as we had sales. When we compare this to March 2024, we had only 323 terminated listings. Expired listings, we had 77 in March 2025 versus 43 in 2024. So we're seeing a lot more listings not sell, in most cases because the sellers can't get the price they want compared to what a buyer feels it's worth. Then we can look at months of inventory and sales to new listings ratio to try to determine what kind of market we're in. Months of inventory tells us the number of months it would take to completely sell the homes that are currently listed for sale based on the area's current rate of sales activity. February, it was at 2.8, and March, we saw it go up to about 3 months. Anything under 3 to 4 months of inventory is considered a seller's market. At 3 to 4 months, it starts to be considered a balanced market. Over 6, they consider a seller's market. Sales to new listings ratio, which is the ratio between the number of homes sold and the number of new listings entering the market. This number went down to 34.6%, which puts us in buyer's market territory. Usually between 40 and 60% is considered a balanced market, and less than 40% is considered a buyer's market, meaning that supply is high and demand is lower. Now, price. The average sale price in Durham for all home types was $911,396. Average price actually went up. We were at $897,759 in February, so an increase of just over $13,000. Nothing crazy, but prices are continuing to hold steady for now. Looking at specific areas in the Durham region, again, for all home types, we saw some price drops and some increases. Pickering saw an increase of $22,156. Ajax saw a decrease of $60,249. Whitby saw an increase of $20,952. Oshawa basically stayed the same, decreasing only $190. And Clarington decreased $5,914 on average. Now, again, comparing this to a year ago, in March 2024, we saw an average price of $936,166. So we're down $24,770 from the average we had last year at this time. We also saw a 101% sale to list price ratio, again, the same as last month. So more homes are selling in multiple offers and over the asking price. The homes that do sell are also selling quickly. We had an average of 17 days on market, down from 22 in February. And listing days on market, which takes into account if a home has been listed multiple times, was also down to 17. So what does all this mean for you as a buyer, seller, or a homeowner? Inventory is high. We're seeing listings come on the market at a higher rate than normal, and sales are lower than we would normally see in the spring market. But prices are holding because only the sellers that are getting prices they're happy with are actually selling. If they don't get the price, you can see based on the terminated listings that they're taking the house off the market. In my experience right now, buyers that are out there seem to be willing to pay a fair price. Of course, there are ones that only want what they consider a deal, but a lot of buyers that are in the market to buy right now are okay paying a similar price to what the neighbor's house sold for last month, for example. They just aren't willing to overpay for the most part. They also seem willing to compete in multiple offers. But again, it's not like it was previously. People are leaving in conditions on financing and inspection and offering fair prices. The tariffs are officially in full force, and there will be concerns of potential job losses, especially in certain sectors. And then we have the overall uncertainty with the economy and concerns of cost of living going up. So if the sellers that are out there that are not willing to drop their prices yet are put in positions where they have to sell, or even just realize they aren't going to get the number they want, but decide they actually do really want to sell, that's when we could see prices start to go down. Otherwise, we could just continue with this much lower level of sales while prices stay about the same. But based on basic supply and demand, it would make sense that prices do start to come down. We'll see over the next few months how things play out. The buyers I'm working with right now are in all sorts of different positions. Some are tired of the crazy rents they're paying because, of course, rents haven't come down at all. So they just want to get into their own place. Others are bursting at the seams of their home and don't want to wait to see what happens with the economy before they make the move to the bigger home, because they would be buying and selling in the same market. So if you are considering a purchase right now, assuming you have solid employment and you're in a strong financial position, then you're going to have a lot more homes to choose from. Be prepared that you might still see multiple offers, but remember that prices aren't really rising, so look at comparable sales carefully. It's a lot easier for buyers right now, so this could actually be a fantastic opportunity if you're in the right position. If you need to sell, pricing will be the most important factor, but you also need to remember that if a buyer's looking at your place, they're likely also looking at many other homes. You want yours to be the one that stands out with staging and amazing photos and videos. Do all those little fix-ups, give it the fresh coat of paint. It needs to show its absolute best. Homes are still selling at all different price points, but you do need to be realistic about your pricing to be one of the homes that sells. Underpricing with an offer night is working in many cases right now, so that can also be an option to consider for a quicker sale. And certain types of homes in really desirable neighborhoods are still selling really well. You do need to look at your neighborhood carefully. If you'd like to talk about the top strategies and come up with a game plan for buying or selling in this market, book a consultation at the link in my bio, or just send me a text or an email to start the conversation. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates in the future. I'll see you in the next video.